maybe don't have a relationship, or maybe do. For me, I feel like I really wasn't ready for my relationship. I feel like I didn't understand what it really meant to have a relationship. And I feel like that is what really stopped it from working in the end. Don't get me wrong, there were still a lot of other factors that made it difficult for us, like being long distance, not having seen each other in person. But I feel like maybe relationships aren't a good thing, especially for people that are in my position. Because my mental health was really in decline for quite a long time, and still kind of is. But I believe that relationships really should not be seeked out, especially if you are in a desperate state like how I was. Because I was very desperate for my relationship. And I felt like that was a big problem for me. That was the main reason why the relationship failed, because I was very desperate. And I really think that when you are specifically searching for a relationship, that is what really makes it bad. That is what will really destroy the relationship. Because when you are seeking out a relationship, it never works. Same way that if you are to go to, let's say, the grocery store, right? But you're hungry, that's the worst thing you can do. Because if you go to a grocery store while hungry, you're going to pick up things that you don't need. You're going to find things that you don't need, find things that you don't want. But you pick them up anyways just because you're hungry. And that was exactly me with my relationship. I was desperate. I was very lonely. And I used the relationship as kind of a crutch for that. And that's why, in the end, it really did not work out well. So that is why I advise all of you, if you are in a bad mental state, take the time and put that time into yourself instead of someone else, because you're the one that needs it the most. If you're the one that is going to be there for every single relationship, girls and guys, whoever you're into, they come and go. They will all be there for a while, and then maybe if it doesn't work out, then they're not. And that is the problem, because the one person that will always be there for every relationship is you. You are the one that stays through each relationship. So it only makes sense to focus on yourself and better yourself really before you want to get into a relationship. Because it will only be worse for you if you decide to get into a relationship when you really don't need it. I surely didn't need mine. I don't regret it. And personally, I did love every second of it. But in the end, I definitely was not in the right headspace for it. And that is why I advise all of you to be careful. Now, why do I say just as a blanket statement to not have a relationship? Well, part of that is true. I believe that in our generation, I believe that we should have a lot more caution for jumping into relationships, because it's a long-term commitment, but I believe a lot of people aren't really aware of that. Sure, they might love them at the time, But maybe come a year, a month, a week, maybe even a few days, they can easily just lose interest. And then what was the point of that relationship? If you really didn't love them, then why did you end up with them? And I think that's something that a lot of people need to be aware of, because I believe in this generation, true love really lost its meaning. There really isn't such a thing as true love anymore. Just the way that people get together, but they don't have it in mind that they want to be in it for the long run. A lot of people are just in it maybe just because they found them attractive, or just because of one little thing. But they don't ever have it in mind to have something long term. And I believe even with hookup culture and social media making it easier than ever to meet people but also cheat on them, I believe that it just makes it more and more difficult to really find true love. And especially in my age, even though I'm out of high school, I can only imagine those that are in high school or even middle school. Finding true love there is near impossible, because at that time you're not fully mature. I know everyone says everything with, having to be 18, and that means you're an adult. But does it really? You don't fully develop until you're 25. So when you're 18, you are just as stupid and immature as when you were 17, 16, 15, 14, so on and so forth. So why seek a relationship at that time? If it's supposed to be something that's such a mature topic, then why seek it out so early and so prematurely when it's really not necessary? Really just shouldn't be done. So I think that if you are truly ready for a relationship, you will know. But until then, don't get your hopes up, and really just don't be surprised it takes a different turn than how you expected when you first went into it. So I think that certain people, it works as a learning experience. That's how it is. It's really a learning experience. For a lot of people, sometimes I mean, for me, it was more of a crutch, if anything, because of how I was feeling at the time. But I believe that you shouldn't use it as a crutch, and you should just be a lot more careful. But until then, you will know what's right for you. That concludes this episode. Until next time.